That's okay, but something's missing. Give me a sec. Okay, well, that's better, but if I just had a little bit more. Now, there we go. That's what we're talking about. So, in today's video, we're going to actually be looking at a new three-way monitor, portable monitor system. Basically, a way to add 2 extra screens on top of your laptop screen. So long as you have 2 spare USB ports, you could be rocking the mobile warrior lifestyle. Let's check it out. Hey there YouTube, this is sjm4306 back with another video. This time I had to break out the folding table because I got a bunch of crap all over my bench and my other bench has other crap on it. Anywho, yeah, this is another review video. I reviewed in the past a very interesting laptop monitor, I guess, laptop second external attachable monitor. And I actually do use that from time to time. More set up. They had like a magnetic mounting system, which was, it worked, but I don't like having giant magnets attached to my laptop. Anywho, so I was contacted by, hopefully I'm pronouncing this right, Oiiwak, spelled O-I-I-W-A-K. Anyway, they had a model that takes it a step further. This is they call it a triple monitor system. It's 2 monitors, but 3 including the one built into your laptop. So this adds 2 extra monitors for tri-screen portable computing. This is dual 14-inch screens, 1200p, so it's actually greater than 1080p resolution. At a 14-inch screen is pretty good. Dual IPS, USB-C as well as HDMI, the whole shebang. And this guy uses a different mounting system, no more magnets. And this one, I believe you don't need to modify the laptop in any way, shape, or form. This attaches on. The case being, it says 15 to 17 inches. Without further ado, I guess the first thing is they sent a very nice case. So the price is, I believe as of filming right now, it's $599.99. There may or may not be a discount code. I don't remember. Whether or not that's worth it for you, that's for you to decide. But it comes with this very nice case because these are fairly delicate-ish. They're pretty thin from what I've seen, and very, very nice, like foam padded, velveteen lined case for the screens. There is a thing that we'll get to, the way that they fold shut always leaves one screen exposed, so you're definitely going to want to keep this case. Improved efficiency, narrow bezel design, extremely compact and portable, multiple OS compatible, this triple monitor, and patented product. This guy is heavy too, at least the box is. So it should be interesting to see what all that heft is. Yeah, 1920 by 1200. IPS panel, all the other stuff is repeated. So let's just figure out how the heck to open this. Magnets. Okay, so. Oh wow. It has a full 3-step process. How to open it, what kind of video ports you're allowed to use, etc., etc. That's interesting. Like I said, they said this works best on like a 15 to 17 inch laptops, and it does have like height and thickness and length requirements because of the physical way that it'll mount. It'll work with any laptop, it's just a matter of getting it to physically latch on. And we are met with a foam protective sheet on top, and then the screen itself. A nice little finger hole cutouts here. So, yeah, this has a little bit of heft to it. Oh, wow. Okay. Has a little kickstand, too. Because this has a little bit of heft to it, you don't want it all that weight on your laptop hinge. So it has like this little laptop, sort of reminds me very much like the little kickstand on the Nintendo Switch. like the original model. And it's magnetically held in place, but just kicks out, and then you press and hold the button, and then you extend it to the correct height, and then it locks when you release the button. That's actually a really nice design. Rubber foot, so it doesn't slip. And yeah, plastic chassis, it feels like. We're just going to set this to the side and see what else is included before we really get into opening it up. Another foam protective sheet, and we got a bunch of cables. Wow, and some Velcro wrap stuff. So we have, oh yeah, by the way, the HDMI ports are mini HDMI. So they include 2 because each monitor has its own video input. Mini HDMI to full-size HDMI. So you can hook up any game console, well, any device that outputs standard HDMI. That's really cool. We have a USB-C to USB-A cord, and it's very interestingly purple. And this looks actually decently long, too. Do the length test here. It's about like 3.5 feet. So, yeah, decent amount of length there. Okay, we have a double-ended and a right angle. I love these. These are so useful. So the one end is straight, the other end is a right angle. Actually, I kind of would have liked if both ends were right angle, but at least one of them is. This is video and power, so if you have a laptop that has USB-C ports on it, you don't even need HDMI or anything. It can directly output. So that's really cool. Or phones that do like DeX mode or like desktop mode, it'll work as well. We have 2 of them. And we have another one of those USB-C to A cables. So everything comes in 2s here. Here we have a protective cap if your laptop is ultra thin. So if your laptop screen that this clips onto is thinner than 6 millimeters, put these little rubber baby bumpers on, and they will protect the, the plastic or glass or whatever of your laptop screen from, the way that this clips to it. We'll take a look at how that mounts in a sec. We have the user manual, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, looks pretty comprehensive. Yeah, it's not like those manuals that have like every language in the world. It's all English, and it's like 16 pages. Yeah, I wonder what current. It says power consumption. There we go. Per screen, I guess on max brightness, is 10 watts, so 5 volts at 2 amps. And it does have adjustable brightness. Yeah, those are the specs if you want to see them. It has its own OSD, so you can adjust things. That's always really cool. Okay, yeah, that's about all we're going to need to see, I guess, in that. The rest of this is just foam. It's very well packed, I will say, because this is not cheap, so they want to make sure that it arrives safely. Okay, there is a protective film on this screen here. It has a very interesting, like, sort of S or Z shaped fold out, and everything's magnetically clasped, which I really like, actually. The mechanism feels very nice. The hinge is not cheap at all. There's actually like a resistive hinge on there. There's foam everywhere. We could see the branding. Oiiwak. Anyway, has a interesting sliding mechanism. The whole thing is sort of spring slidey, clampy, if that makes any sense. So we have the outer screen, which is exposed. The inner one, more sensibly, folds inward, so it covers the delicate part. But because of the way this is designed, the only way to really get around the fact that one screen has to be exposed would be as if you made both or one of the screens swivel. That would drastically make it way more complex to design. Nice attention to detail. There's actually rubber stops here, so that when the magnet holds the screen shut, it doesn't rub plastic on plastic. That's really nice. The screen, I'll just hold this portion. The screen is actually decently thin. It's not super thin, so I'm not too worried about it. This does have a little bit of flex in it. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, quarter of an inch-ish, third of an inch. I know, freedom units, I'm sorry. We have our mini HDMI connector here, 2 USB-Cs. There's a up-down button here, a power button, and it looks like maybe a power indicator or something. There's like a little dot there. Probably not maybe it is a reset button. I don't know. I have to read about that. Screen does unravel pretty much flat. We have spring-loaded metal. Yeah, these are metal. Mounting tabs. And we have plastic little retainer bits here. So I guess it slides over your laptop screen, and then this clasps shut on the top of the screen to hold it. So it's like upside down right now, if that makes any sense, because, well, the logo is upside down. But yeah, and then the whole thing slides inside and out to adjust for the width of your monitor. And it doesn't clasp like super tight. Doesn't seem like. Let me just open the second screen and give you the full view there. So you can see just how big this is going to be. There's a reason why this has the kickstand and stuff. I can't even fathom trying to use this just on your lap with the laptop. That'll probably end very badly. But yeah, setting on a table is probably going to be the way to go. And deploying the kickstand. Would it look like this? This is very nice, like bronze color almost. I don't know how to. It's like kind of gray, but it's very sparkly. Looks very nice, actually. You can actually angle both screens inwards a little bit to get sort of your battle station surround screen, like 180 degrees of screen real estate. Okay, so I thought as a bit of an experiment, let's see if I can run this solely off my PS4, which is right behind here. So I have power plugged into USB into the front port on the PS4. I have no idea how much power the PS4 can supply to the USB port. I assume it's enough to charge the controllers, so I want to see if it will power the screen. Obviously, you can't plug two screens into a PS4, but I wanted to see if you could use this as a portable PS4 monitor, basically. And the other lead is HDMI. It's the mini HDMI going into the HDMI cord on the back of the PS4. So let's see if this will turn on. So starting up the PS4. Controller lit up. Screen came on. Yep, there we go. It's booting right up. And turn on the controller. It's synced. Here we go. So let me grab a game. Okay, got Tales of Arise. And we're starting up. The image looks really good because obviously I'm outputting 1080p. And this monitor is actually a little higher than 1080p. So it looks really good. For some reason the camera's washing out a bit, but in real life it's like super sharp and like vibrant colors. Like the orange on the sword looked super orange. So let's just get into this. Okay, so we're in. Let's just get started into the game. And here we are. I want to go into the menu and see how many frames per second, if we're getting 60 or... This looks actually really smooth, so the signal, yeah, it is 1920 by 1080 at 60 hertz, so yeah, looks fantastic. How do I get out? There we go. Yeah, the menu system's a little confusing. To open the menu, you have to press the power button. And then to navigate through, you have to press the down button, goes up for some reason. Like there, so you can actually see the menu. And to go into it, you have to press the up button. Or no, wait, up is back. Oh, geez, see? This is really confusing. So I think power is... How do I enter the menu? Let me... I'm confused. I am confused because I... Okay, yeah, the power button is to enter a menu, and then the down button goes up through the menu, and to change something you have to press, I guess, the power button again, and up is back. So, however that makes sense. There we go. Nice wide open area. Look at that. There we go. Trying to play one-handed. Oops. There we go. So let's test Nintendo Switch next and see how that looks, because I know that's 720p, and I think only 30 frames per second, so let's just give that a test. Okay, so now I have my Switch plugged into it, and yeah, we could see here, let's just hit home. Actually has to connect both the controllers. I'm wirelessly connected. There we go. So, you can see here, if I go into the menu, oops, no. And there we go. So, okay, interesting. The actual video source is 1080p 60 hertz, but I'm pretty sure the Switch itself, it must be like upscaling or something, because I'm pretty sure it's only really capable of like 720p max. And a lot of games are probably 30 frames per second, or maybe like an adaptive refresh or something. Anywho, let's just fire up Persona 5. Once again, image is really good. It's not as crisp as on the PS4, obviously, but that's a limitation of the Switch. And I do have to say, I mean, the windows are open right now, so there's kind of a lot of light leakage. I'm going to shut the blinds for a sec. The contrast ratio is really good, actually. The blacks are like decently dark. The colors are pretty vibrant as well. This looks fantastic. Let's just I'm gonna shut the blinds once I actually get to a spot. I'll just load, whatever. And there we go. So yeah, that's actually closer to what I see. Now that the glare is kind of a bit more subdued, I shut the blinds, and yeah, like it's like super crisp, really nice to look at. I would definitely be able to play like this. Okay, let's get into a dungeon real quick and fast forward through this. It looks so good. I mean, given this is what I think it's like a 14 or 15 inch screen. Yeah, this is like perfect for gaming. And you got two of them if you want to play two games at once, I guess, or I don't know. Okay, I finally got to a point where I could actually do something in the game. Oh, jeez. There you go. So yeah, I'm gonna have to stop. Otherwise, I'm gonna sit here all day playing this when I need to finish this video. Anywho, let's also plug in. I just got a an Oiiwak Max, which is a portable like Steam Deck like Windows PC gaming console. I want to see how that looks plugged into this, because that should be able to take basically the full resolution of this monitor. Okay, so here it is. Here's the Loki Max, and the coolest thing is, so I have power USB-C from a power brick going into the side of the monitor, so it's powering both the monitor and the console, and then just one USB-C cable going straight to the console here. So, and here we go, I'm logged in there, and you can see here it is not actually taking up the full monitor. Sometimes I forget this is in a touch screen and I try to touch it. I can see black bars at the top and the bottom. That's because that's, I think, maybe the native resolution that it's rendering to the actual internal display here. So if I bring up the display settings, I should be able to tweak this to do a higher resolution. So yeah, here you can see it says 1920 by 1080. Okay, figured it out. So I had it duplicating, so it's limiting by this internal monitor. So I want to extend to a second monitor, and bam, you can see there, I can keep changes, and now it shows up as a second monitor. This monitor 2 is actually shown as larger than monitor 1, the internal monitor here, because it is a higher resolution. And so now I'm taking full advantage of this. I mean, the text is super crisp, and even the icons are like tiny. But yeah, that looks fantastic. So let's just fire up a game. Okay, so I actually had to bring in a USB-C dock because I've realized if you don't extend this display, this is a touchscreen, this is not a touchscreen. I can't move the window over to this display using only this keyboard. So I needed a USB keyboard. I don't have any Bluetooth ones right now. So what I ended up doing was just plugging in a dongle to this dock, to the control, to the actual console, and then having this. And so this is the only way I could get this to work, to get this a full display window with me being able to switch the window. If I just mirrored it, you would get those little letterbox bars. Okay, here we go. So we are windowed. I could full screen this, but I'm not gonna mess around with the settings anymore. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I just started this game. So I guess just run around and do whatever. Looks nice and crisp. I mean, given this isn't, this game particularly maxes out at 30 FPS, and the graphics are, let's just say this was originally, I think, a PS Vita game, so not like super high res or anything like that, but yeah, kind of cartoony art style. I have no idea what's happening. Okay, here's another game, Shadow Complex. So I couldn't figure out a way. This game doesn't really run. It's weird. I just had to duplicate the monitor and whatnot, because once you get into the game, I think it's not really windowed, so I can't like move it around easily. So whatever. We're just gonna have to live with tiny little letterbox bars. I think this is more of an artifact of like Windows and its weirdness. It doesn't quite work entirely in terms of when you have more than one monitor. Yeah, it's not ideal. But that aside, oops, oopsie. There we go. Zoom out. Yeah, this is an awesome game. Image is a little blown out, but yeah, it's like super sharp. You can see I'm all the way zoomed out on the map, and you can very clearly see everything. Size of my hand. There we go. So a good place to stop. Very nice looking image. Anywho, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys another game console. Yeah, this thing like seems like it'd be ideal for gaming when you're not doing productivity things. Obviously, it has that second monitor strapped on there, but looking at these screws, it looks like it'd be really easy to disconnect, not permanently, but disconnect the monitor and just use one of them standalone. Or you could just like kind of leave it propped like this. Now it does have this kickstand, but the way it's facing, you kind of can't use it because the back screen is facing inwards, so you can't like rotate the screen and use the kickstand. I would have preferred if they could find a way to keep it so you could use it in like single screen mode like this with the kickstand, so I didn't have to prop it up against the box. But this is not the use case. Use case is with a computer, so let me go set that up and actually, use this the way that they actually intended. Okay, here's just a quick demo of it. I have a Dell XPS 13, so it's got 3 USB-C ports, so I could have 2 monitors plugged in and still have 1 port free for either a dock or for charging the laptop. Here, I just have an example open. So for instance, I have Eagle with my center monitor here, displaying the PCB. I have the schematic open on the right side here. And this is just a future upcoming project, which I'll be going into in a future video, but don't you worry about that right now. And I have a Cura open here with a 3D CAD file that I designed for said future project. But anyway, yeah, just for example, you could also, if you really wanted to, if you folded this up and set it vertical, you can set the aspect ratio in Windows to display it as a vertical monitor. And you could have a PDF open, like full vertical setup there. But yeah, you can see here you got plenty of real estate, including this is ridiculous, including the built-in monitor on my laptop that has a 4K monitor. Then I have 2 full 1200p monitors on the side. That's insane. Everything is being powered just by these 2 cords. So my laptop is supplying power to both monitors, and they are, I think, each about 80% brightness. And kicking this up a notch, I have my Z Fold 4 connected just over its USB-C port directly to the left monitor. So now I technically have 4 screens that I can do anything that I want with. So I'm using DeX mode, so my phone is basically rendering a full kind of computer-like interface to this second screen. So yeah, you can basically see how ridiculous you can get with all of this. Just having an extra 1 screen is a massive thing, but having 2 is really, really crazy, actually. Now, the only thing is, I'm going to show you on this laptop. Keep in mind, this is like a sub-laptop sort of thing going on. Only a 13.3-inch monitor. So they specified that you're going to want at least a 15-inch monitor for in order to clip it to the laptop. I'll show you right now. If I try to clip this to the monitor, this laptop is actually a little bit too small, so it won't quite fit. Okay, so I basically clipped it on here. You can see it doesn't even come up to the support. These supports are spring-loaded. They're supposed to mount onto the top of the lid. They do very nicely include these silicone nubs to prevent it from scratching or damaging the bottom part of your laptop lid. But yeah, you can see my laptop doesn't quite fit, even though electrically it works just fine. So let me grab a larger laptop, fit this in something more appropriate size to this, and show you guys. So most of my older laptops do not support video over USB or anything fancy like that because, well, they predate before this was a thing. So I don't know if they'll actually work with these monitors, but I have a few old HPs that physically should be able to give you a better idea of how the fit is. Okay, so this, it's an HP EliteBook, some mess of numbers. This is, I believe this is like a 15-ish inch laptop. I think maybe this is a little bit smaller because the aspect ratio is not as widescreen as modern laptops. There you go, it's a 745. So this is more akin to, I guess, what they expect you to use with this type of monitor because it fits right in there. It doesn't quite go up to the edge, but I guess they don't really expect you to. But the top actually does clip in, and the little silicone rubber things do stick to it quite well. These rubber or silicone little nubs for these fingers had to come off because the monitor on this is quite a bit thicker than my main laptop. But yeah, you could get a pretty good sense of what it would look like to fit with a laptop that's actually properly sized for it. Unfortunately, this is quite an old laptop, I think like circa 2014 or so. So it has USB ports, obviously, no USB-C, and it does not do digital video over USB. Now, in terms of things that I like about this triple screen setup, it is very, very good looking. The brightness is decent. It's actually better than the past model that I reviewed. that only have the single extended screen. So brightness pretty good. It powers completely off USB, which is fantastic. No extra cords as long as your laptop does video over USB-C. Things that I don't like: the menu system is really confusing with these 3 buttons. The up and down doesn't always do exactly what you think it's supposed to do. So oftentimes I get confused in how to, change simple settings. Luckily, you really only had to set that up once and then you just don't touch it. So for the most part, that's not really a super issue other than the first time that you actually go to use it. I really like how it has 2 USB-C ports, so you can charge and connect to a device at the same time. That's fantastic. I really like that it has a mini HDMI port, so you could use these with anything. You're not limited to just the USB-C video cable. Also, they come with really nice cables. Really robust. They obviously put like a lot of effort into it. Now, this is not a cheap device. This is, last I checked, it was like about $400 to $500, which is asking a lot since you can get a single monitor that's in this ballpark in terms of performance and capability. Prices have been coming down. You can get one of those for like $100 to $150. So they definitely are asking for a premium. But then again, like there aren't a ton of these like triple screen behemoths out in the wild, so your options are limited unless if you wanted to like strap 2 of these like 2 single monitors together with like duct tape or something. They do have other systems, like the last monitor that I looked at had like a plastic mounting plate that if you bought more than 1 monitor that they would snap together. That sort of worked, but sort of not. It makes your laptop like super chunky. I did like on that screen how the monitors slid in and out, so that made storage a little nicer. This one, you cannot store this monitor on the laptop and like fold it up. It just doesn't work because this right monitor has to fold where your monitor screen is. So you have to take this out. But I think they thought of that, and by providing a really nice carrying case, basically consider that fact. So at the very least, even though you can't fold it up with the laptop installed, you at least have a nice, safe way of carrying these monitors. I kind of don't like how this back monitor will always be exposed, so you have to be really careful. Even with the case, I would still suggest like putting a piece of cardboard or something to cover that, and don't stack anything on top of the case where that monitor is, because you could probably pretty easily accidentally crack the outer screen there. The right side screen folds inward, so it's fully protected. That's fantastic. This is not the lightest solution. It's actually, adds quite a bit of mass, so I would definitely suggest you get a laptop with like nice strong hinges, like a larger model one like they suggest. The Dell XPS 13 was really fun to play around with, but I wouldn't leave that like mounted to this. I'd worried that the hinge might be damaged or something. That definitely is too small of a laptop, so definitely I would go with their suggestion. 15 inches and above, up to like 17-inch laptop would be perfect for this. You can kind of just prop this up using the back kickstand, but you have to play with the angle that you set each monitor at because the center balance changes as well. So it sort of works just as a standalone double monitor system if you don't have it attached to a laptop, but it's not very mechanically stable. Like it wants to kind of fall over. So definitely that's sort of not the use case. I'm thinking if I'm going to be spending like $500 on something, I'm going to want to get as much like utility out of it outside of its main purpose. So what would be cool, what I'm thinking of doing is I have a bench back there. It has pegboard. What if you could pegboard mount this and just have like 2 video cables that you can attach anything to, game consoles, a laptop, my phone, whatever that outputs video. That would be really cool because then you get 2 like very respectable size, respectable brightness and resolution monitors that just take up no desk space then. That would be fantastic. Yeah, I think they kind of want to set this up as, you take this to a coffee shop and you'll be the coolest guy in the coffee shop. I don't think in practice that's going to work so great, just because of the fuss with the cables. If they could have made each of the screens also have wireless and a built-in battery, then you could use this completely separate. Not you just set it on top of your laptop lid, but you don't have to connect anything. if they could figure that out, I don't know if there'd be a Microsoft Windows or Linux or whatever OS you're using, if they need to do something OS side to do like wireless screencasting to more than one monitor. But if that could happen, I think that would make this idea like way more practical. I really would like to see something like that in the future, where you just set this up, you don't plug in anything, you just configure your software and it wirelessly beams the display data. That would be so cool. And especially giving each of these monitors its internal battery would also help with if I want to connect it to like watch a movie on the train or whatever, or on the bus. I'd be able to just wirelessly cast from my phone to a monitor, just have it closed up and just use the exposed monitor to just watch a film on a much larger screen than, you know, the internal phone screen. That would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I really like this idea. I think that maybe it requires a little bit more development. Definitely, if for some reason you don't want a desktop and you use a laptop, but you want the big screen, multiple screen experience that you can get with a desktop, but in laptop form factor, this might be a good thing where you just set up the two extra screens on your desk and you leave them there and you just plug in your laptop when you come home from work, and you would have, you know, this massive multi-screen experience set up. Given the price though, you're going to have to weigh whether you want to get a setup like this or just get a USB dock and get like one of those super wide, you know, curved monitors that are like about this size anyway. That's probably going to be about in the same ballpark price wise. But the added benefit of this is you get two completely independent monitors that you can plug into any video source. So I could have my phone plugged into one monitor watching a YouTube video and the other monitor powered off the laptop, and, you know, a document open on it, for instance, a PDF, while I'm programming something on the middle screen. I really like the flexibility aspect of this, and it does work pretty well once you set it up. Windows, I will say, has its quirks when it's outputting to multiple monitors with different resolutions. So you're probably going to want to set your primary monitor, which is the one inside your laptop, you're probably going to want to set that to the same resolution as both side monitors. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. I will definitely be using this. I probably won't be taking this to work because I honestly don't have a lot of space on the bench there. But I'm thinking what I just said, set it up, mount it to that back wall of this. I'm definitely going to have to get an enclosure or something for that CNC so it doesn't spray a bunch of sawdust all over there. But I kind of want to like put it up like one monitor here, and just so I can have, you know, a small computer that maybe I hide underneath here, and then have like CNC stuff running. So I can run that CNC, but have multiple monitors. So one for like the CAD program, the other one for like the slicer or whatever, or the G-code generator. So yeah, I think that would be a really cool use for this for me. I'm probably not going to be using this in the office a lot because honestly, the only place there I have to put this would be my workbench, which has a bunch of soldering equipment and like things that are probably going to break these monitors. So I'm probably not going to use that there, but definitely for my second workbench out here. My other workbench, which is in the room behind me, in the finished part of my basement, that has all my soldering and hot air equipment and whatnot. So that would probably not be a good place to put this either. But definitely on like the spare workbench, I could definitely see. I want to definitely like wall mount this so it doesn't take up any floor space or desk space rather. So yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you are interested in taking a look, now obviously this is like their highest end model, I believe. Maybe it might be like their mid-tier, mid-high tier. So this is definitely going to be not for everyone. It's going to be quite expensive for the average person's needs. They do sell like single monitor versions and whatnot, and smaller screen versions with like different features and whatnot. So they have something, a little bit of something for everyone. So if you are interested, take a look at their website. Oh, I just wanted to add one small thing. So right before I pack up, they include lots of cables, which is great. They include like really nice Velcro straps and everything. When you're transporting this, you have this really nice laptop sleeve sort of style device, or case rather, and that works really well. Please, could you guys just put like a zipper here and a second pouch so I could just like store the cables with the monitor so that I don't lose them? That would make this case perfect, and it would definitely go quite a bit of ways to making this more portable friendly, I guess you could say. That's all I had to say. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this review video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.